how you pass your road test. If you don't know, I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults, and I'm going to help you get through the process. Look, when you're ready to take your road test, you need to have a car. You're either going to rent a car or you're going to bring a car that you've been driving. Now, your car needs to be in good mechanical condition. What does this mean? Your brakes need to work. Your headlights and taillights need to be in operational condition. You cannot have a crack in your windshield. You need to at least have a fourth of a tank of gas. I have about a half a tank of gas if I were you, to make sure you're safe. You need to make sure you have proper insurance and a registration for your vehicle, because they will check that. They will have a safety inspection where they're going to check everything. Your test can be terminated if you do not have the proper safety equipment, because you want to familiarize yourself with your car. Let's go ahead and get into the next part that they're going to be looking for once you take your test. Let's talk about some automatic failures, because I always get a lot of questions on automatic failures. Some automatic failures: you disregard the instructions or refuse to perform the maneuver of the road tester. Your road tester will never make you perform a dangerous maneuver. Next, you repeatedly fail to follow instructions that result in termination. Other information: if you refuse to wear your safety belt unless you have a physical statement, and a waiver will be provided. You have an accident that may result in failure or traffic violation, including but not limited to an accident that is prevented by others. The examiner prevents a crash, illegal action, running a red light. You're making a left turn, you fail to yield for traffic, meaning you turn in front of an oncoming car. The driver creates a dangerous hazard for other drivers. Maybe you're going too slow. The driver fails to yield, adversely affecting pedestrians and cars. Pedestrians always have the right of way. Next, traffic violations in which the driver fails to yield a right of way for a funeral procession. Just went to a funeral last week. We talked about this. Do not interfere with the funeral procession. That is automatic failure. Passes a stopped school bus with the red lights flashing. Automatic failure. Fails to make the proper action when encountering a stationary or moving emergency vehicle. What does this mean? If there's an emergency vehicle, you need to pull over to the side of the road and wait 500 feet. If you're not sure about 500 feet, you wait until the emergency vehicle is out of clear distance. Turns left or right on a red light when it is prohibited by law. I get a lot of questions about that. A lot of people will end up turning when they should not. They turn into oncoming traffic. Automatic failure. You pass improperly. There's not enough room. You don't use your blinker. You don't check your blind spot. You literally cut off a car. Next, the driver goes the wrong way on the one-way street. The driver on the wrong side of the street. That has happened too, because in your mind as a beginning driver, you're making a right turn, but for some reason, you turn on the left side of the street. The driver is on the wrong way on a one-way street. Fails to stop at a red light or flashing red light or stop sign. You must stop for 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. Fails to stop for a railroad signal or drives around a closed gate. That is automatic failure. Other automatic failure: speeds 4 to 9 over the basic speed limit. You may get one warning. You might not get a warning at all. Next, follows another vehicle too closely after one warning. Some road testers will give you one warning, some will not. You as a beginner, you need to make sure you understand. If you're not understanding, you need to talk to the instructor and ask. Dangerously inexperienced drivers, you must obtain a passing score. It varies from state to state, location to location on your passing score. A passing score may be anywhere between 25 and 15. You must obtain a passing score to finish the road skills driving test without committing automatic failure listed above. I read some of those to you. If you can't maintain proper speed, I had a client, they cannot keep the correct speed they had a reduced or restricted driving license. You must drive at the speed limit. If it's 45, you need to be able to maintain 45. If you're on the expressway and the speed limit is 70, you need to be able to maintain 70 miles an hour. Driving more than 10 miles under the speed limit. I talked about that. Under the regulated speed limit after one warning. You might get one warning. Ma'am or sir, can you please pick up? Ma'am or sir, can you please pick up? If not, you're going to get marked down. When operating a manual transmission and you're unable to shift gears properly or operate the vehicle safely. Here in the United States, we primarily drive automatics. My brothers and sisters in the UK, in India, and Australia, you're driving manuals. I know how to drive manuals too. Here's some other information that is vital to you. Hey, if this is bringing you value right now, give it a thumbs up. Tell me that this is bringing you value, because once I know and the algorithm knows, we're good. When driving an automatic transmission, you are unable to determine the proper gear. Most of the time, you're in D. D is for drive. Stalling the vehicle, resulting in a hazardous action. That's when you're driving your manual. Components to the driving test. You're going to have the basic skills test requirements. You're going to be parking in a parking lot that has painted parking spots. You're going to have to come up to a stop line position. The front end of the car cannot go past the line. You're going to have to reverse park. And just like backing in a driveway, your car cannot encroach or go over a line. If your car hits a cone, the bumper, you get a minus. So you're going to be familiarize yourself with the safety inspection of the car. I talked about that early on. You're going to have the basic control skills test, and then you're going to be on road. Here's some other tips. If you're going over a railroad crossing, you need to look left, right, left. They're going to be asking you some other questions that I'm going to be mentioning in a further video. Here's some other things that you need to know. The curved path park. This is when you are reversing and backing into your driveway. You need to be able to do that by looking out your back window. Some instructors let you use your backup camera, but I want you to use the best backup camera. That is your eyes. The stop line forward. Let's go over some other information. Driving skills test requirements. You're going to be making left-hand turns. And in those left turns, you're going to be making them in small intersections and larger intersections. Right-hand turns of varying difficulty. Smaller right-hand turns, wider left-hand turns. Try to turn in the nearest lane. I have a short on that. Keep your turn short. Turn hand over hand into the nearest lane by the curb. If you're in a double right turn lane, whatever lane you're in, you stay in that lane. Next, intersections that involve stopping, then driving through straight. Expressway or rural highways, driving and making lane changes when required to do so. Collision avoidance, they're going to ask you some questions. I'll go into that later. Going around a curve, you want to reduce your speed and go into the curve slow. Railroad crossing, actual or simulated. I told you you have to look left, right, left. If you don't, you will be marked down. You might have to turn on the fan or turn on the radio. These are some things that you're going to be exposed to on that test. Let's review. You might have to rent a car. You might have to bring your own. You cannot have a cracked windshield, cracked tail lights. You need to have insurance. Your headlights and tail lights need to work. You should already have practiced prior to you getting to the road test. The road test will be anywhere from 45 minutes to about an hour and 10 minutes. They are routes that the road tester will take you on. You're going to be making some right turns, left turns. You're going to be merging on and off the expressway. You might be going into a residential and industrial area. You might be going into some roundabouts. It depends on the area that you actually live in. So you need to drive in the area near where the road tester is to familiarize yourself, because in some areas, some residential, you're going to have a speed limit of 40, then it drops down to 25. Then it might drop down to 15. So if you're not really paying attention, you could end up failing the test and not even know it. If I brought you some value today, give it a thumbs up. I want to say thank you, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.